Welcome back and thank you for staying with us at Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Following great success with the virtual Friday night initiative, Grosley community member Kenson Casimir presented a check for the full amount of funds raised to the executive of the Grosley Vendors Association. Casimir hopes that this time the monies will bring relief to the households of these vendors, allowing them to better support their families.
In a time where the world has been placed on a standstill because of the COVID-19 pandemic, one young man from the constituency of Grosley, Kenson Baby Casimir, has taken initiative to help street vendors who are non-NIC contributors and depended on the weekly Grosley Friday night street party for their income. In the form of a virtual street party, Casimir rallied the support of citizens, performers, and the diaspora to raise funds for a donation to the Grosley Vendors Association as a small-scale economic relief effort.
Grosley Friday night has been a huge staple to the community of Grosley, and it really hurt my heart when I was having a conversation with a young lady who said to me, can you imagine, Grosley Friday night was perhaps one of the first events that were directly impacted by COVID-19. No more tourists coming to St. Lucia, so it meant that no more activity in the Grosley community every Friday night. I grew up in Grosley, as most of you guys know, and of course, persons who know me would know my mom is somebody who at some point started making cakes to walk around with a trolley selling to actually ensure that she got that income in addition to being a janitor at the Grosley Catholic Church to make ends meet. So the mere fact that you have somebody so close to you that you know that you can still support and you will support in that time and not being sure about the others in the community really drove me to have this activity for the vendors.
During the check presentation ceremony held on Tuesday, June 9th, Casimir thanked all contributors who played a part in amassing a surplus of $20,000.
I'm very proud today. I'm very emotional inside. I'm very happy that we were able to pull this off, and not just pull it off, but pull it off successfully for the vendors in Grosley. Thank you to Jeremiah Hyacinth over in the US who helped us to set up this GoFundMe. Thank you to all the artists. It would have never been the same without the artists who came on board, the Kuya, Ezra the Fun Machine, Keisha, every single one of them. In total on the night we raised, okay, in terms of pledges, the pledges came up to about at least, it was about $20,600 in terms of pledges. What we've collected is $20,400 plus. I think we can pat ourselves on the back that the event was so successful that persons not only enjoyed the night, but they actually gave their money afterwards.
Casimir says the full sum of funds will be distributed evenly between vendors. He believes that this success gives hope to the Grosley community, where the uncertainties of the COVID-19 pandemic may have weighed on their spirits. He anticipates similar success if future initiatives are pursued. Jacka Wooding, Hot 7 News.
The St. Lucia National Youth Council has sent out a strong message to the Royal St. Lucia Police Force using the ongoing racial and police brutality tension taking place in the United States to call for justice for the unsolved case of 17-year-old Arnold Joseph, among others. Friday, May 27, marked 1 year since Arnold Joseph, a student of the Entrepot Secondary School, was fatally shot by police officers who responded to a fleeing vehicle considered suspicious by law enforcement. Second Vice President of the SLNYC, Ajani Lebon, said the organization stands in solidarity with the global fight against police brutality, and so with the issue in the headlines, it is the opportune time to remind locals and the RSLPF of the same fight taking place right here in St. Lucia.
We find it very unfortunate that the RSLPF or members who responded to that particular situation found it necessary to use excess force, which claimed the life of a young man who, from all accounts, you know, was a caring, a loving young man, a student who, from the accounts of the teachers at the Entrepot Secondary School, was not known for any delinquent behavior. So, I mean, we paint the picture here of a student who perhaps was in the wrong place at the wrong time, a student who, I mean, had a lot within his future to accomplish, and the fact that, you know, a life would have been taken away solely on the basis of the choices of a police officer within that environment, we think that these questions need to be raised as it pertains to the necessity of such force.
LeBon noted the striking similarities in the dispensation of justice between this and the case of 22-year-old Shakadan Daniel, who was found dead whilst under police custody in October 2013.
For both of those cases, very little conclusive information being provided to the general public as well.
LeBon stressed the importance of transparency from the police on such matters.
For young people, we do not want the future of St. Lucia where, youth, the relations between youth and law enforcement has deteriorated. And such, we believe that it's important for entities to understand the importance of maintaining those relations, and it's also incumbent on them to provide the information and the updates necessary to at least instill public confidence in those institutions that, of course, are due or are supposed to protect and serve the general population.
LeBon said Martin Luther King Jr. opined that true peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. Now is the time, he said, for justice for Arnold Joseph. On the lighter side, renowned local guitarist Ronald Boo Hinkson has been making waves despite the challenges currently impacting the music sector due to COVID-19. This week, he celebrates his ongoing reign, leading the Radio Guitar One Top 20 with his track African Queen. Boo says there is no magic behind his success, and he strongly believes that any local artist can succeed once they have proper guidance.
As a musician, producer, arranger, composer, and performer, Ronald Boo Hinkson has been making music for more than 3 decades. However, he has never faced circumstances like what has unfolded in the music sector as a result of COVID-19. With hotels closed and concerts cancelled, many artists are struggling to stay relevant as they delay music releases in fear of wasting their efforts, a fear which Hinkson says he understands all too well. However, following some persuasion from his publisher, he decided to re-release his track African Queen as a single. The success which followed was unforeseen.
And what happened was that my agent went to Senegal and was playing some of my music there. And he played that song, and the people went, wow, and they got excited about that track because it's very African. So when he got back to the States, he called me and says, Boo, I think we should release African Queen as a single. And I really didn't agree. I said to him, no, I don't think we should be doing that now because I'm not working anywhere now, and all the tours have been canceled, as you know, because he's very involved in my travels. And he said, no, I think we should put this out there because the response in Senegal has been very good. And I kept explaining to him that Senegal is not America, And he just decided, well, listen, I will take the chance. And then he released it.
The track, which marries the sounds of smooth jazz with African flavors, has rocketed to the top of Radio Guitar One's Top 20 list, where it has maintained this position for 3 weeks. Boo says it is a proud moment for him as an artist. However, he believes that such a feat can be accomplished by any local artist who is willing to put in the work.
And this is very good, not just for Boo. This is not about Boo. This is about St. Lucia and all the young artists that this is supposed to inspire, Because Boo is not a rocket scientist. I just happen to have a machinery behind me that can make things happen. But there are many musicians here who can do this, man. Many guitarists who can do this. Zach can do this. Dwight can do this. Harvey can do this. Who again? A lot of young musicians can do this. All they need is the machinery behind them. And I keep saying, if they need my support, just let me know. I'll be there.
He also encourages artists to continue to put out music and continue to record through the pandemic. He believes that they are likely to see similar success as he has.
The situation for me is not very different to a lot of artists now. I'm not performing anywhere because there are no venues to. And all my overseas performances have been cancelled. But fortunately for me, I've never stopped recording. And I think in this pandemic, what what I would advise the young musicians to do is to keep releasing music, keep your name current, keep your name out there, get traction now, because we will eventually get over this, and you don't want to be starting from ground zero.
Hinkson underscores that he is but one of hundreds of talented St. Lucian artists. He hopes to integrate more of them in his productions and guidance once things begin to normalize. Jacques Wooding, Hot 7 News.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us, we'll be right back.